Welcome to Chukker Chat. I'm Lauren Proctor Brown, and I am so excited to bring our community together and expand Horses and Heroes Day, now including a VIP brunch. In our first 4 years, Horses and Heroes has raised over $50,000 to help the Wounded Warrior Project. This year, we've brought it a little bit more local, and our beneficiary is the Soldiers Freedom Outdoors of Melrose, Florida. In this edition of Chukker Chat, I visit with Dan DeMarco and Josh Datka to learn more about Soldiers Freedom Outdoors. I'm here with Dan and Josh from Soldiers Freedom Outdoors. Can you tell me a little bit more about your organization?
Sure. We're a 501c3. This will be 13 years we've been doing this. We have a 300-acre ranch dedicated to our veterans. We have a house on the ranch that sleeps 7 veterans at a time. Huge equine program, blacksmithing for vets, beekeeping for veterans, although our equine program is probably one of the bigger parts of our program. Mm-hmm. And it's their home away from home.
Yeah. And you're in Melrose, Florida,
Melrose,
right?
Florida.
Yeah, great. And I know you have a big horseback riding program. Can you tell me more about what the therapy there you do with your veterans?
So our therapy really is just, when they're at the ranch, Saturday they come down and groom and love on the horses and give them treats. And those are that are able to ride. Obviously, our therapy is trail riding. We don't have a therapist on site. It's very laid back. Mm-hmm. And then of course we have some vets, like I had a veteran out that he would get up in the morning, and I have a group of horses. You can just walk in the pasture, have your coffee, mm-hmm. and hang out with them. Yeah. And that's real therapy. I mean, anybody that's been around horses, if you have a bad day, you can go walk with your horses in the pasture and it will make it better. Mm-hmm. So it's really just loving on them, hanging out, trail riding. We do that Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have lessons that we offer for veterans and their families, trail riding at a severe discount, because a lot of times they want to bring back their family to experience. Mm-hmm. And we didn't do that. We started that about 7 years ago. That's awesome. And then they wanted to bring that to their friends from the public. So we do that. We offer that as well. But the veterans only pay $35 for a trail ride, which is very inexpensive.
Yeah, that's great.
But as far as our programs go, they're all free.
To the veterans?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what type of veterans do you serve? Like who is?
All veterans. There's no post 9/11, all of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we serve a lot of Vietnam veterans too. Yeah. And they need it. Yeah. Everybody doesn't think suicide rate. You're thinking about, Iraq and Afghanistan. Actually, our suicide rate among our Vietnam vets is high too, mm-hmm. Mainly because they're losing a lot of their brothers and sisters. They're getting older in age. Mm-hmm. It's important not to forget them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of Vietnam vets that will come out for Horses and Heroes Day. And, I think it's really important for them.
It is.
It's just to see that, things have changed. Obviously, I might not have been around then, but after Vietnam, we weren't quite as...
We weren't very nice.
We had a different attitude.
Yeah.
And Josh here benefited from your program. So you served in the Navy.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I did 23 years, just shy of 23 years. Active Navy. Deployed all around the world, 30 different countries, 3 aircraft carriers, a destroyer, a hospital ship, and a multitude of other ships too. And one of the biggest things is the mental toll that it takes on you going around the world doing some of the stuff that I had done. I had found myself in a bad place quite a few times. Mm-hmm. And I really feel like I lucked out in my life, the fact that I came across Soldiers Freedom Outdoors and was able to, connect with them and actually benefit from their program. Being able to go out and actually participate in everything that's going on at the farm, mm-hmm. really, really helped center me. Being outdoors, being able to walk up and pet the horses and get outside. I grew up in a small town in Waukesha, Wisconsin, where there's horses all over the place. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I had been completely lacking for my entire Navy career. So it was nice to be able to actually go out and see the animals that I grew up with, recenter my life. We try to make sure that families are included in on everything, and my youngest boy absolutely loves coming down to the farm. And every time we're there, he's out there right next to the horses, trying to pet them, trying to, groom them, trying to be mm-hmm. around them as much as possible. And he's learned so much just in, the benefit of being around those, as he calls them, majestic animals,
Mhm.
and being able to help take care of them when they're in the barn, and
Mhm.
and actually interacting with them helps him out a lot too.
I mean, I think horses was a huge integral part of my life as well. So, and clearly I've gone horse crazy, as everyone knows.
And we have Horses 101 for military children.
That's awesome.
Another program. So what's really cool about that is if you got a veteran that is hesitant to come out to a retreat, he'll bring his kid to the 101. It's a 1-day deal.
Mhm.
And they come out and they learn about the horses. They all get to ride. They work them in a round pen. Mom and dad are usually there. I think they have a better time.
Mhm.
And then they go for a hayride around the farm and they get lunch. But it's a great family connection. But also, like I said, it brings that veteran to Camp Freedom that might have looked at that retreat and said, you know, because they're hesitant. They're, you know, we're built to be proud and we don't need anything and we're tough.
Mhm.
And sometimes you just got to understand that you do need help.
So other than the horses, what other programs do you offer with it?
Well, we have beekeeping we added this year, which
Very
is
cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
And it's really taken off. We always have 14 to 15 veterans, and it's for the spouses too. So it's not just for the veteran. We included the spouse, and we allot, this first year we'll be giving away 10 hives.
Cool.
For the ones that want to
Very cool.
engage in it. So it's been really good. We have a blacksmithing class once a month where the veteran can come and learn how to make his own knife and his own leather work. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then we offer, of course, hunting and fishing when it's available. Well, the fishing's always available. We got a nice lake behind the ranch.
Lovely.
Very
and
nice lake.
It is nice. Yeah.
Big fish.
I mean,
Cool.
yeah, it's a good time. And then, of course, we have water sports, which is another favorite.
I
We have
bet.
2 different lakes. We don't do it on ours because ours is more of a fishing lake. But
Okay.
there's 2 local lakes. One is Cowpen, and the other one is just an offshoot of some of the lakes there. But we usually get 40 to 50 veterans that
Yeah.
come out and they water ski, tube, kayak, fish, and they get fed. So it's pretty cool. We do that 5 times a year, starting in June all the way to October.
So how do veterans find you?
Word of mouth,
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah.
our website.
Mhm.
But really veterans
Yeah.
spreading
Word of
the
mouth.
word.
Yeah. Word of mouth is really
yeah,
important.
It is.
Yeah.
But I do have some people at a couple different VAs that are now engaged in handing out our literature and making sure our veterans get it.
So, what can people do for you? So what can the general population help? What is useful for them? How can they help you?
So we're a 501c3.
Yes.
Right. No, and I will say nobody's ever gotten paid. Okay. I always say, I don't know how long that'll last. This is 13 years. It's a long time. But my point is I didn't start this to make money.
Yeah.
So we've been blessed to have great volunteers, but
Yeah.
what they could do is offer to volunteer.
Mhm.
But I'm be honest, the biggest thing is donations.
Yeah.
Corporate sponsors, donations. And we launched a new program and it's gaining track, but it's Together We Can. I encourage everybody to just donate $1 a month, a
Mhm.
recurring donation, just $1.
Mhm.
I know that sounds crazy, right? But what if 10,000 people were donating $1 a month? Who can't donate $1? And that's why we launched it, because I really wanted it to sound kind of ridiculous, but it makes you think, well, I can do $1. It's $12 a year.
Mhm.
But if we come together as a group, we can make a huge difference.
And like you said, your organizational costs are really low. So all of the money goes to serve your veterans.
That's
which
right.
is wonderful.
Yeah. And we also, we did expand to Mississippi this year too. If they want their money to stay in Florida, they can notate it.
Mhm.
If they want to go to Mississippi, they can notate that.
So how far do your veterans come from?
The majority of our veterans obviously
Florida.
are from Florida.
Yeah.
But we do get a lot from Georgia, decent amount from Alabama, something that's reasonable driving distance, but a lot in Florida. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's
Mhm.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to help your hometown community.
It is.
Yeah. So people
Yes.
wonder where their dollars are going. So, it's you're helping your local veterans in Florida
Yeah.
with a local
I
charity,
would
which
say
is wonderful.
80% of our vets that come are from Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
This is such a wonderful place. It's
Mhm.
healing, and it is a healing place. It's a magical place. It's really nice.
Yeah. And you said it's 300 acres.
It is. It's amazing.
lovely.
300 acres of old Florida, old oak hammocks with the biggest oak trees that you can see.
Yeah.
The instant you roll through the front gate at Camp Freedom, it's just like a step back in time. It's absolutely gorgeous.
And you only serve 7 veterans at a time. You feel like the quality of what you can do with 7 people is better than if, say, I was to impose like a limit of 15.
Right. Yeah. Quality is really important. You want it to be personable. You want to be able to touch every veteran that comes there and be able to talk to them and get to know them. And I think a number over that, more than 7 would be hard to do.
You need that one-on-one interaction. You need to be able to go sit out on the dock and look at the water. You need to go out to the pasture and pet the horses. You need to go walk the trails around the lake. And, really the biggest thing for us is healing the hidden wounds of war, those mental health issues. And when you're there and you're talking with one of your brothers or sisters in arms who's been in similar situations, who can recount similar ways that they handled things, it's really good for that interpersonal relationship that is formed. And regardless of what branch of service, I'm a sailor. There's a lot of soldiers that go there, coasties, airmen, Marines, and we always find a middle ground to talk about. So I don't speak the same language as a soldier does, and he doesn't speak the same language as a Marine does, and so on and so forth down the line. But we find a commonality on what we're talking about, and we can relate back to that. So within no time at all, you're talking through things that you've gone through and really starting that healing process that has reached a lot of people.
We're really excited for Horses and Heroes Day. We've been doing that. This will be our 5th year. So it's a wonderful day of polo, raise some money for our local veterans. Super excited about that. And we have 2 speakers, I believe, coming from Soldiers Freedom Outdoors. So
You do.
Tell me a little bit more about them.
Well, you have Matt Merkel. He's a recipient. He's also was in the Army, deployed, I think, 4 times, and he's now Army Reserve. And he's a DI too, drill sergeant. So yeah, he's squared away, but he's benefited from the program. He wants to share.
Yeah.
And of course, the Hammer, Major General Hartzell, and he runs the Department of Veterans Affairs. And as long as they don't pull him to Washington, he will be there.
Where can people find more information about you?
Easy. soldiersfreedomoutdoors.org. Just go to the website.
Perfect.
Everything's self-explanatory. It has a nice video on front of the page. It'll kind of give you an overview of the farm. You'll hear from some veterans that have been there. And then if you have more questions, call me.